Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Build an Airbase. So today I've done a little bit of the helipads and things like that around the mountain, also another hangar. So just wanted to talk about the hangar design, or not really hangar designs, the helipad designs. And why I went with green and yellow, and it's mostly because there's a lot of green and yellow ones. It seems to be quite a standard kind of colour which you go with. So I've kind of like going with those. I was going with this more, not going like super futuristic. I think we can do that in some of the mountains and do this like weird stuff, I think, sticking out of it. Definitely, but I wanted to go with those kind of like colours and use that as the main kind of thing. And then of course we've also got a hangar. So what I'm going to do, jump into game and show you guys what we've been doing. Okay, so here we are in game. So what I've done with the helipads, as you can see, I have numbered them. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4, as you'd imagine. I did end up changing where the number is on this one. I have put my little bird, my new little bird, which is quite a big bird. I've still got to do the tutorial for this one. It is on my plan to do this week, so that should be coming out this week. So yeah, we've got the little bird. I've actually been able to plonk it there rather than having it on the runway, which is good. Yeah, what I want to do with this, I want to do something a little bit different. Usually your helipads will be kind of like a similar kind of area to like this, where there wouldn't be as many hangars, probably actually twice the size of that. And then you actually have like your circles on there for landing spots for your helicopters. But because we've got such mountainous terrain, I really wanted to do, what I want to do with this whole build is a lot of different levels. So I've actually got this boosted up onto 2 different levels. We've also got the mountain kind of storage. I did make these too small at first, which is why I kind of like expanded them a little bit later on. So they are a little bit bigger now, or quite a bit bigger. Let's just grab some glowstone. I do need to change the texture on my glowstone block. It's just a good placeholder at the minute. But there we go. If I shove that in there, at least you can see the size of the kind of like hangars it would fit in. The little bird, which is good. Down the bottom as well, these are hangars for vehicles, not for aircraft. It's just too small. So I'm going to have like some small maintenance type vehicles or anything like that. It's just a small, nice garage that kind of like fits underneath the one above it, and it makes this look less plain and less boring. So at least then you've got those in there, and then of course it joins up with the road. And I did painstakingly put in the snow layers for this actual road, so you can actually join or go up all the way on that. That looks really horrible. Let me just tweak this. This is the only problem with it. The snow layers, they keep on, grass keeps on growing underneath it, and it just sticks through with the better foliage that I've got. Yeah, so I've got those 2 bigger ones here, which you could then have, of course, have them inside the mountain. This would be perfect, really. It's really, really strong doors, and you're in a mountain, so you know, even if you get hit by a bomb directly, it'd be pretty good. The only problem is if you get hit by a bomb here, rock's going to fall, and then you've just blocked yourself in, really. So that there is a problem with that, but in general, will be pretty cool. You'll be pretty secure as long as the mountain's pretty secure. So there is that. So I've tried to put, you know, bits of rocks and everything kind of like on there as if it has fallen and they've had to clear it in the past. This one at the angle is totally empty. There is a small weird doorway that I've got going through into here. So there we go. And it's just empty at the minute. I'll probably fill it at some point. I'm not too worried with the interiors at the minute of all of these. I will do bits and bobs of interiors, but I won't do a lot. And then we got the new hangar as well. Obviously, I'm not going to talk too much about the road. Road's really simple. I kind of like talk what I'm going to do this area, or thinking of doing with this area in a sec. But mostly it's, you know, roads are roads. It's just very basic. I mean, I did pull it out so that we could actually have a small walkway, because it didn't make any sense that you could walk up these stairs here and then you were on the road. So I've just put in a small walkway there, you know. Just change it, just switch it out. I need to, of course, smooth that out. And it also makes more sense for these spaces then. It's less like you're gonna, you know, if you had a car park there, you would turn into it, because we do drive on the left. If you were American, you would drive on the right, and you could smash into the car that was there. Still can, but it's less likely. So the hangar, this hangar, okay. I love the design of it. However, it's not wide enough. First thing that I did, and you'll probably see in the video, I want to explain what I kind of like did in the time lapse. I made these doors way too big. I made them huge, going out all the way to here. Then I had a closer look at a video of them actually working, and then it made so much more sense, which is, you know, that they slide into each other. So then, luckily we got the vertical slabs in the Conquest mod, so at least I was able to do, you know, like something like this. And then when they're all stacked together, as you can imagine, when they'll get pushed together, you'll just end up with something like that instead, which is great. And then you know, could have bits of them kind of like standing out or whatever, you know, that's what I mean, you know. It all kind of like stacks up together. So instead, I just had to count out 5 blocks, I think it was. I think I put extras 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, I did way more than I needed to. But it's basically 4 sets of these 5. So I've gone with overlapping ones. On this, there's a block there to kind of put that in. I think it looks really, really cool, especially with the kind of like rails with just stairs. So something that you can't do in normal Minecraft, but you know, you could do it with two blocks instead of having the vertical slabs, and it'll look absolutely fine. And I just had it like even more pushed in on this side, but that was a mistake that I made. And then I had a look at it, and I was like, this just seems too wide. That was why. So the other thing that I've got, which is a problem with this, I didn't make it wide enough, because I had a look at did what Jag said, which is you know, build your planes first type of thing. So I've got my old planes, and none of them fit. None of them fit in here. The kind of like the wingspan is just too large for it, and all the ones that are actually this high. So this door would never get used in reality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up stripping this off. But what I can do with this kind of hangar, because it's quite tall, is have, you know, we could have like proper repairs going on, or maybe have some bits of them being built. Or I don't know what we're going to do. Put cranes and stuff on it. I don't know. Something like that would do. And what I am thinking of also doing is probably extending out on one of these sides, probably somewhere around here. I mean, it's got to get blasted by the helis, helos, but that'll be fine. Weirdly, where I work, like right outside, is a quite a large helipad, so our building is just gets blasted by helicopters all the time. They're fine. The buildings are absolutely fine. Shakes a bit for a little while, but then it's absolutely fine. So I'm not too worried about the sizing of them. Obviously, it's quite dark in here, so I need to probably cheat and put some like carpet down or something like that, and put some lights in. I think that's going to be something I'm going to have to do. Either that or use the invisible lights, because we do have some invisible lights somewhere in Conquest. Can't remember where they are, but we have got invisible lighting. Sure we have. I'm not just imagining it. I can't be just imagining it, so I'm almost certain that we do. They haven't taken them out. It's not magically disappeared. So we've definitely got some of those somewhere. And it's probably in something else like MISC. There we go, yeah. So invisible light blocks, and they've got more with the like medium light and all that kind of stuff, so we can put them down. And I don't know what's going on with the particles at all. Oh, they disappear afterwards, that's fine. So yeah, I don't even know where that's gone now. That's the only problem with invisible lighting, you can't find it. There you go, get rid of that. So I might do some of that to get that more light, you know, light it up. But I might have this as yeah, have quite a few planes in there, but they won't be as tall as it's supposed to be. But that's fine. Another thing I've done between the episodes is built a trainer. So this is this was based on the Grob T1. It doesn't look anything like it, but it looks like a standard single prop kind of like trainer kind of aircraft, typical kind of little plane really. That's what it looks like. So I have got the tutorial for that one. It'll be coming out this week. Really simple little thing, but these fit in these small hangars. So also one of you guys asked if I could do a tutorial on the hangars. This one's done. Got that one to do, and I'll do that one. So yeah, absolutely. If you guys want any tutorials of the stuff like in here, like planes, really easy to do. Hangars, a little bit more difficult to do. But if you guys want it, I'll do it. You know, it's not a problem. So just let me know in the comments. That'd be great. So yeah, I've got the two trainer kind of like aircraft. What I've decided to go with is different colours. So we've got a green one there, we've got a yellow one there, we've got a red one out there. Different colours for each of the planes. So it's almost like when pilots get trained up, they get assigned one of these planes as their own. In order to stop them from crashing it as often, or hopefully stop them from crashing it. That's the idea that I've got in my head. I have no idea how they would actually do it, if they do assign themselves planes or they just use them out of, just you go and use whatever plane. But that's, I don't know. Tell me if that's wrong. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it, not done too much. So from your comments, there's quite a few things that we need to do. I've actually got like a checklist to do as such, and I will write it on a board somewhere, I think. I'm going to do that. What if we have it in like the flight control room? I might tell you what I'll do. I'll off camera. I'll like interior this up, because I mean this isn't too bad. Interior this up as the flight. It's supposed to be like a pilot's type, mission control room, and then they go out and do their missions or whatever. It's supposed to be like a prep room type of thing. So I'll actually put some boards up in there. But just going off the list, got air traffic control towers. We've got multiples of those to do. we have got a lot of those to do actually. What I was thinking about this area, and tell me if this is a stupid idea or not, is actually having some sort of like small control tower type thing up here, and then just having like a little weaving kind of path going down, which gets you down to this part of it here. So there'll be like, you know, 1 or 2 people up in a tower, not really a tower, just like a small tower here for the helos, just to, you know, so that they can come in and land. Definitely going to have one in the mountain base. The mountain base, I've changed what I'm going to do with that. I'll explain that in a bit. Definitely going to have one on the side there, which, because it'll be able to overlook this, and I'll probably have one on, there you go, this mountain here. We might actually have one. If not, we'll have one, you know, like over here or something like that. We've also got fire stations to do, and there will be multiple fire stations around the base because we're going to have quite a few areas. So this will be this is the smallest runway out of all of them. We have the longer runways, and we're probably going to have quite a few fire station type areas around it to make sure that, you know, there is going to be experimental aircraft on this base, and therefore more likely to have some fires. So we're going to have a couple of those. What I was thinking, and tell me if this is a good idea or not, that'd be great. And I won't start building yet, but if I should cut back this area here and put in a good old brick fire station, that'd be good, because we have got the brick texture, and I've started to use or work on the red brick one as well. So there we go. That's my brick. I love the brick texture. It's actually one of my favourite textures in the pack so far. God, why is it so laggy? That's weird. That was the weirdest lag I've ever had. So yeah, we got that, and also, yeah, I got the red one. I'm still working with this one. It looks a bit pinky to me at the minute. But yeah, we'll get some like proper brick in there, maybe put in a fire station, just because it's quite close to get straight onto this bit here. Now I am thinking for down this bit, have a little bit of the road, then the road will dip underneath the runway and go onto the other side. So we've always got a way to, say if there's a fire all the way on the big runways over there, the big ones, get the map up again. There you go. So we've got some fires over here and they need extra, you know, fire engines or whatever. They can get them underneath this runway, don't have to stop anything. They can go through the mountain, because we're going to have a proper mountain kind of like tunnel. That'll be quite cool as well. So we're going to have a mountain tunnel that goes through this one here to get to this area here. So I think that might be quite good if we can start thinking about that. Hangars galore. We're going to need a ton of more hangars. I'm going to have to do some really big ones. I'm going to have to size them as well. I'm going to have to build some big planes and then build the hangar around them. I know that Jag did that for his it's not Stratocaster. What's it called? B-52. I'm sure it's B-52. But yeah, the B-52 he did for that, and he actually built the B-52 and then built the hangar around it. Perfect. Really great idea. Good idea. Brilliant idea, in fact. So I'm going to do that for the future ones. We also got fuel storage. This is something that I haven't been able to get any pictures of. If any of you guys do work on an airbase or a military base, don't take pictures of your fuel storage, because I'm pretty sure you won't be allowed to do that. But if you can tell me like how they get stored, because it looks like, from what I can tell, they never have them outside anymore. They're always within a container, so they're always contained within some sort of unit, whether it's a hangar, and there's a building off of the side of the hangar, and that's where your fuel storage is, or it's in its own separate building. That's what I can always see. I can't see the typical kind of like big circular things that get stuck around like in Just Cause. But we might do a couple of those. But to me, it makes perfect sense to hide them and have them protected, because it's a big lot of fuel. You don't want a plane to be able to get into this airspace and just bomb that fuel that you've been able to see on a satellite map. You know exactly where it is. Bang, boom, big boom, and destroy it. Makes perfect sense. But if you guys do go on a base, I'm pretty sure they're all protected these days. But yeah, if you guys can confirm that, or tell me if I'm totally wrong, that'd be great as well. So we've also got weapon storage as well. So that's going to be a munitions storage. So different missiles and big ass bullets and all that kind of stuff, because planes and helicopters and all that kind of stuff have big ass bullets. So I'm pretty sure those are exactly the same, where they're going to be properly contained and kind of a bit hidden. Going to need some sort of communications center. Now the communications center, like I was saying, this is going to be the main comm center for the entire base. I'm thinking of this mountain here, and it's no, not that one there. Sorry, this mountain here or this one. This isn't so much the mountain, but this one maybe. It's either that, or because this one isn't a mountain, we can have a road going up to get to the top of it, and then that's the main communications hub for the entire base, like the complete control or headquarters, top control. I don't know what you want to call it. Almost like the bridge of the entire base. I don't know. But you could still have like little posts everywhere for traffic control and things like that. So we've got to do a communication center. Briefing rooms, that's exactly what I was just talking about a minute ago in here, so we're going to have one in there. We do need to build some more around, so I need to do some like proper squadron buildings and have certain things around there as well, so that's going to be quite good. Kitchen, dining rooms, sleeping areas, all that kind of stuff, the kind of like domiciliary stuff. A lot of the base, what I'm going to do is this is going to be the main entrance, and then outside of here we're going to actually have a town. So we're actually going to have town, a small town, which is going to have lots of the military kind of like dormitories and things like that. And then that will have also, you know, your typical like supermarket and small town centre. It's not going to be a huge town, but it's going to be a town that's basically been created for the base. So people would go here, live on here. But what I want to do as well is have a proper train station. I've never done proper trains. You know, I started to do it on the old map. But I've never done it with it being in mind, so I want to do a train station in here that will then, you know, take them off into the city if they want to go there as well, so you can actually do that. We're going to need a load of generators as well. We need to figure out our power and how that's all going to work on the base. And of course, anti-aircraft guns everywhere. Now, one thing that somebody said was trains and a monorail system to go around the base, and this sounds really, really cool. I actually love the idea of it. So we are going to build like a super kind of like just some sort of like crazy fantasy military base train system to get troops around, to get munitions around, because what we have got with the unique terrain, which is totally unrealistic, what we have is kind of like difficult. It's more, there's like less routes to get supplies, say to this one. You know, you would have to, if you've got two gigantic runways here, how are you going to get supplies from outside of it in really quickly when you're under attack? So if you're in complete wartime conditions and you've got planes landing, refueling, restocking, and you know taking off all the time, how do you refuel everything? How do you get munitions to everywhere? And how do you get staff as well? How do you get staff around? How do you get staff that have just been flying for like 12 hours or whatever it is to get back to their dorms? You know, they're not going to want to just drive around. So we're going to go for some sort of crazy, like probably a monorail type system that hugs most of the hills and everything. And that will be, or not really hills, the mountains. And that's going to be pretty much going around the entire perimeter of the base, which I think is quite a cool idea. So you can actually get, you know, somebody can go, I finish my shift, they can jump on a monorail, or take them all the way around, like this area or whatever, and then takes them back to the base entrance. Just as a really quick way to get people around, get your personnel around, which is really important these days. So that would be really cool. And of course, tunnel systems through the mountains to each base. So yeah, definitely gonna have some tunnel system around here. We'll have one for the monorail that goes through as well. We'll be cutting through. I'm quite excited about that part of it because I love my secret bases, and it always looks really cool if you've got like cuts in your mountain where you've got tunnels and things like that. Now the next bit, okay. So what I was saying last episode was I was going to build a big nuclear missile in this base. Decided not to. I've decided to do something totally different. I'm going to build a spaceship. So there's going to be a spaceship being built. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the TV show Salvation, but I'll shove a picture on the screen of the Salvation. Basically, it's a ship that can take them to Mars. So that's the idea of it. So we're going to actually have, inside of this whole thing here, they are building a spaceship to go to Mars, super secretive, and it's to try and, whatever the nation is, the nation I'm making, they are going to try to get to Mars first, but they want to be really secretive about it. So they're building a gigantic spaceship, which is going to be in here, and then when it's ready to launch, the kind of like, what was this kind of like volcano-y type thing, caldera, that will kind of like move off. We'll have some big doors on it, and also I need to think of where the blast is going to go, and I have looked at the back of this, so we can have some like tunnels that actually go and blast it out on this side or whatever, you know, the actual fire that comes out of it. So that would be quite cool. So that's my idea for that. So we have like that in there, and we can build that can just look really badass, really badass, I think, and it's totally different, bit crazy. So we might as well go super duper Bond villain type scenario. But yeah, guys, hopefully you're enjoying this series. Yep, I'm starting to tutorial as much as I can as well of everything. So I will be getting out those. If there's anything, like I said, that you guys want me to tutorial that you're seeing, then let me know. But what I'm thinking next episode is if you guys want like the fire station, we'll put a whole fire station. If not, what I'm planning on doing, like I said, with those alert type fighters where we're going to have the catapult systems, this hill is actually perfect for it. When I was flying around a little bit to try and find something for it, this actually seems pretty good because we can have a road that weaves its way up, so from this way, and can weave its way all the way up to get, you know, supplies and fuel and whatever up to it. But then actually the length from about there to over, well, sticking out, if we do the kind of like just cause type runways, is long enough to actually get some proper runways in which have catapult systems, so we can get birds in the air pretty quickly. And also looking at the distance of them, if they're, say, for example, launching from this way to this way, it's pretty clear anyway. So they can just go launch off, bang, they're in the air, you know, and then you've got some fighters. The only thing I've got to figure out is how we get those fighters back up again. They will, of course, land on probably like this runway or the bigger ones. No, they'll land on this one. If you did it on the bigger ones, then you're never going to get them back. That'd be carting them a long way, probably, for a mountain. So yeah, I've got to figure out a way of doing it. But yeah, what I have thought about doing is having either having a system where they like connect onto something and they get pulled up the hill automatically onto something where the wheels just kind of like clip in and just get pulled up. It's either that or we have a series of ramps like you get on an aircraft carrier where they almost like go through a tunnel, get lifted up into a ramp, move a little bit more, get lifted up onto a ramp, and then move a little bit more, get lifted up onto a ramp, and then they're up on the top somewhere. We also need to think about this top bit, probably having some hangars or a big hangar for all the birds to be, well, they can get maintenance and things like that. But I think that's going to be quite a cool idea. I think it's going to be really cool. I haven't really seen anything like that in Minecraft, and again, it's totally like a bit sci-fi, super duper military base, maybe even a little bit, you know, super Bond villain kind of stuff, which I quite like. So yeah, anyway guys, let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and yeah guys, I will see you on the next one.